Hey y'all, what's up, what's up, what's up? I'm gonna be touching on the topic of body image, self-love, things of that nature, and I have a few points that I jotted down, not in a particular order, and if you have anything that you want to add, feel free to comment in a positive and respectful way. And I'm gonna be adding a few of my own thoughts and stuff like that, so it's a bit of a freestyle. Anyhow, so some things that I felt went along with the topic of body image and positivity and mental wellness and things of that nature is society, media, the pressures in society and plastic surgery and things of that nature. So, and this is my opinion, so don't beat me down, but how I feel that social media and society takes a play in this is, I know that for me and for a lot of young people that grew up in my era, is that, magazines, social media, seeing your favorite celeb, singer, movie star wear a certain thing or look a certain way or gain or lose weight or become, muscular, or they wore a certain hairstyle or whatever. If you've seen it, you sometimes wanted it, or people would copy it. No matter how much people say they're individual and, they're not into celebrities, it is what it is, right? People tend to mimic the people and the things that are popular and that's out there and that has a lot of traction. And how that comes into play is that sometimes it may be popular and it has a lot of traction, but you may pick it up, but later on you may look back and say, you know what, that really wasn't me. Like, I just did it because it was in and it was popular, but that wasn't really me. And then sometimes you tend to, or could possibly lose your self-identity in that. When it comes to plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures, same thing. I feel like in the time frame that we're in with, social media being up and popping right now, a lot of, not just women, but even men, a lot of people have been, enhancing themselves. And to me, I feel like, to be honest, I don't know, I feel like it's okay, cool, you want to enhance yourself, but at the same time, I feel like, what's the limit? And I'm not gonna lie, when I was a teenager, I always said, you know what, when I get older and I have the money, I'm gonna get a boob job, I'm gonna get a nose job, and I'm gonna enhance myself. And then as I got older, I thought about things and I realized certain things. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say that now that I'm older, I wouldn't enhance or whatever, change anything. But I think about things in a little bit of a different light. And, just seeing over the years how I've seen so many people go on social media and give their testimony on how, plastic surgery or cosmetic surgery has enhanced or uplifted their life or ruined their life. So many people have been endangered their health, people have passed away, just so many different takes on it. We've seen so many beautiful, talented celebrity women lose their life or close to losing their life or had a lot of botched procedures or whatever it may be. And it just makes you realize that, I think sometimes it can be that cliche thing of love yourself. And I see that anytime I see a popular site post a person that has had a procedure and people comment in the comment section, go, love yourself, and then I'm like, people are saying love yourself, but let's keep it real. People say that, but those are the same people, and honestly, I've seen sometimes the same people comment and insult those people. Those same people might say, oh, your boobs are sagging. Oh, like even the other day, I saw where a popular site posted Summer Walker and her kids. They're having fun, they were playing, and people were going in saying, oh, this is not me, y'all. I'm telling you, I read it with my own eyes. People were saying, comb those babies' hairs, do this and that. And I'm saying, okay, so And people might say this doesn't connect, but it does. It starts off small and it snowballs. Why are you commenting that she needs to comb these children's hairs and this and that? First of all, listen, a small comment could go a long way. It starts off with comb hairs. It starts off with, oh, why is your eyebrows like that? It starts off with, why is your this and this like that? And then it goes this and that. And before you know it, you're like, oh my God, why'd she do this to her nose? Why'd she do this to her hips? Why'd she do this to her boobs? Why'd she do... It's comments like those that push people to do exactly what they do. And when I read those comments, I said, but those are her children. Like, why are you even commenting on the children's hairs and this and that? Like, I'm sure she has enough money that if she wanted to comb their hairs or do whatever with their hair, she could do whatever she wanted. Y'all are commenting from a place of judgment, and we all judge. It's natural, but at the same time, there's a thin line between just your regular, judging, just in your everyday, movement of life and to keep you safe and secure and whatever, and then judging in a shady way. And people were judging in a shady way. And then I also came across a clip of an interview that Summer Walker did with a host. I really don't remember the exact show or whatever it was. I remember Summer Walker was saying, she loves, or I don't want to misquote, but it came across the I'm paraphrasing, where she was basically saying she really liked surgery. And people are in the comment section saying, why? You gotta love yourself, and women love yourself. But again, people say that, but those are the same people that turn around, and I've seen them make comments in the comment section saying, oh, this person's boobs look lopsided. Oh, this person needs to get this sucked out and sucked in. This person's making too much money for their clothes to not fit them like this and this. So people are confused. They want you to stay true to you. And then when you stay true to you and you have lumps and bumps and blemishes and spots and all of that, they're making comments saying you make too much money, you got to fix that. So that's how society, I feel like, comes into play with a lot of things like that, because you can't win with them. You change something, they're bashing you. You don't change it, they say you're making enough money, you're in the spotlight, you're a big enough star or whatever, that why haven't you changed it? Anyways, let's move on. A next thing I think of is, why is there such a level and importance placed on beauty, weight, etc., etc.? I think there's an importance placed on it because your image is the first thing people see. If I was to walk into a room right now, the first thing people are going to see, and this is my perception, is that I'm black. I'm a female, I'm a woman. People are going to see my weight, what I look like, your hair, your dress code, everything. These are the first things people are going to see. And whether you want to admit it or not, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. If you walk into the room and you are a slim, light skin or dark skin or middle tone person or whatever, that's what people are going to see. If you walk in the room, the first thing people see is that you're draped up in name brand. That's what they're going to see. If they see that you whatever, that's the first perception. And some people's first perception might be like, ooh, she got money, she's draped up in, she got the newest whatever. Or they may see you in things that, okay, she looks like she's somebody who is not in name brand, but she's dressed well, or she's dressed regular. And trust me, I know, because I've done it many times. There's been times where I went to the mall and I just went regular, just threw on, like what I got on right now, regular shirt, whatever. I've been in stores and people literally have ignored me. I didn't get a hello, I didn't get nothing. Even when I went to the front to buy something and pay for something, nothing. Just got, okay. And there's been times where, and I have pictures to prove it, I did my hair. It was a nice, kinky, curly, poofy hair. I wore a nice sweater. There was times where I was way, way slimmer, walked into a store. The minute I walked in there, hey, how are you? We have this on this and this, and the special on this, and we can help you for hair, and da-da-da-da-da. And then there's been times where, there's just been different times where I know I've looked different ways and I've been perceived in different ways. And so, I think that's why there's an importance placed on how we look, weights, image, all of that, because I know I've received different treatment in the different ways that I dress and the different ways that I've carried myself. And so there's going to be an importance in that. If you know you come up in the store, there's a regular tee, you just looking regular and people ignore you. But if you come in there, you have your kinky hair and a nice bag and you smelling nice and da 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 da. If you know that when you walk up in the room and you're gonna get, hey, how are you? How can I help you? Da, 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 da. If you know that versus that, then you know, okay, you know what? When I want a certain kind of perception, so that's why there's an importance placed on that. And commercials, advertisement, all these things show us that there's a reason why we place a certain level of importance on it. And I don't care what anybody wants to say that, oh no, and this and that, and we're evolved, it's 2025, well, it's 2025, and we still have a lot of old perceptions. Even when I had like, you know, my medium length natural hair versus when I shaved all my hair off, versus when I wear a head wrap, versus when I wear braids, versus when I wear extensions. Each time I wear a different type of style, I get a different type of reaction. There's times where when I have my extensions and they're long, or my curly, poofy, kinky hair and a little bit of light makeup on, I'm getting the door being held and, hi, how are you? And I like your hair and I like your hoops. It's plain hoops. What's there to like? When I have my head wrapped or natural hair or bald headed, it's a lot of, and I get a lot of like, yes, madame, and I get a lot of people who maybe the same or similar cultural background of me. A lot of people saying, like, almost like they're bowing down, like they think like I'm of some type of religion that is held to some kind of. Meanwhile, I am a very free-spirited person. I grew up Christian, but at the same time, I hold a very kind of open look on life. I'm not holding any spiritual religious value, and when I have my head wrapped or my hair shaved, I get a lot of yes, madame. And I've even had people yes. I'm just like, right. So I've even had people ask me, are you Muslim? Are you Rastafari? Are you, I'm just like, no, I just have my head wrapped because I just didn't want to show my head today. So different ways of how you present yourself, you get a different kind of reception. And I don't care what nobody says. Anyways, moving on, I would say events and experiences that have shaped the outlook of beauty and image. For me, I don't know about anybody else, but different events is similar to what I just said, like just the perception you get when you dress or look different. Different images and experiences, I would say just similar to what I just said. Like if you look a certain way or you're dressed a certain way, you're gonna get a different perception. I don't care what nobody says. I would say, I don't know, just life experiences has taught me that, like, you know what I mean? There's times where I've dressed business casual, you're getting the, you know, that treatment. And then there's times where you might have on a hoodie and whatever, and you're getting the treatment of, okay. You know what I mean? So I've been alive and on earth long enough that I know the vibes. I know the vibes, and y'all know the vibes too. Anybody who's gonna play like they don't know the vibes, they know the vibes. People like to act delusional, but trust me, you know the vibes. You know that based on how you present yourself and the environment you're in and the type of stores you're going to and yada yada yada, that's going to really shift and give you the type of feedback that you're getting. And it does affect your self-perception, because it makes, to me, I know for me, I'm just like, whoa, dang. So when I'm in my natural state, y'all gonna treat me like this. When I'm y'all gonna treat me like this. But when I'm like this, y'all gonna treat me like this. And you know, I'm just like, And it kind of forces people to put on this facade. It forces people to put on this image. And sometimes that's not even how people are. I've seen so many people on social media, they're putting on this image, and then later on people are like, I didn't know that person was like that. But you're forcing people to put themselves in this kind of way, because when they present themselves naturally how they are, they get treated a certain way, and people know if they polish themselves up, they're going to get treated that way. Then that's how people are going to present themselves, even if that's not who they truly are. They're going to present themselves in a certain type of way to get a certain type of treatment. What other note did I have? I said beauty image, as you age, as a child, teenager, young adult, middle age, elderly. I feel like as a child, I was treated as a child. As a child, I looked like a child. Not nowadays. Nowadays, in 2025, I've seen a lot of children looking like they're teens or young adults. When I was a child, if I was 10, I looked 10. I even looked younger than 10. When I was 15, I looked younger than 15. When I was 20, I had people telling me I looked 16. Like, I always looked kind of within my range. And so I can only speak on the experience I have. So I would say as a child, I was treated like a child. And, but as a child, I remember having a lot of sadness behind my self-image of beauty. I remember feeling like I can't wait to grow up, and I can't wait to live and express myself the way I want to. I remember as a teen, I could express myself somewhat, even though I was battling with my parents on how I was doing certain things. I still had a certain level of independence of how I expressed myself. And then as a young adult, and then growing into adulthood, I expressed myself the way I wanted to. But again, the world kind of shapes and shifts the way you do things. And so, I don't know, I kind of felt like, I just always felt like I was expressing myself a certain way, but the world was perceiving me another way. Like I said, right now in this video, I have my hair wrapped. There's been tons of people who have come across that just having my hair wrapped, I'm getting a lot of yes, yes, and Hail Selassie, and that's not even what I'm doing. My head is just wrapped because, to be honest, I'm growing out my hair. And it's not looking or curling the way I want it to. That's the only reason why I have it wrapped. So it's like people perceiving you as you're religious, you're Hail Selassie, and that isn't even. And so again, you have the world viewing you one way when really you're this way, or you're that way, or you're. So, But I do find as I hit my late 20s to my early 30s and my mid 30s, I remember somebody said this to me years ago. They said, girl, take all the attention you're getting now from men, because as you age, you ain't gonna get any. And if you get any, it's gonna be very minimal. And I was like, what? I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not gonna lie. As I've aged and, my image has changed, you're aging, your weight fluctuates and things like that. I'm not gonna lie, I have felt and seen a change. I do realize that when I was in my teens and my early 20s and my very early 30s, I did get a lot more interaction with males and even females and making friends. And as I got into my late 20s and my early 30s and mid 30s, I realized that decreased. And I used to think, oh, that's just media. The media is just saying as you age, you're this and that. And I've asked a few people along the way, like, do you feel that way? And a few people have said, yeah. And I'm just like, I don't even want to say sad, but I just find like I don't know. That's just interesting that, people tend to gravitate towards, and once you get past a certain age or look past a certain age, people tend to kind of, yes ma'am, which is fine. It's great that they're respectful, but it's like you don't get the same, like, hey, can I talk to you? Can I get your number? Hey, and maybe some people get it and some people don't. I don't know. I just feel a shift. And I feel like a lot of it does have to do with the media. I've seen a lot of celebs talk about it. And again, you can't blame celebrities and influencers and people when they're getting Botox, when they're getting cosmetic procedures, when they're doing certain things, because if people are paying more attention and putting people on a certain level, on a pedestal, when they're of a certain age, and when you cross over a certain age, you're not, the people are going to gravitate towards looking and being a certain age. And so you can't comment online saying, love yourself, okay, love yourself. But then the same people are telling you to love yourself, they're not lifting you up, or, you know, just kind of giving you that same vibe. You're naturally, as humans, you're going to gravitate towards where you feel the most celebrated and the most loved, and it just is what it is. A next point I had was building a positive self-image and relationship with yourself and things like that. I think it's very important. And you know, self-care, looking yourself in your mirror and doing a lot of mirror work, doing a lot of positive self-talk, accessing a professional, mental health, healthcare professional, whatever you need to do to get yourself on a positive level, do it. I keep fixing my shirt because I feel like the camera is bringing my shirt this way and I'm sitting. But yeah, getting yourself professional help. Hopefully in 2025 and onward, we can, you know, get rid of those stigmas and things like that, because to be honest, I think we all need a bit of help. I mean, why not? You know, a lot of us have a lot of things from our past, a lot of trauma, a lot of all kind of things, and I really don't think it's a bad thing, you know, whether it's a short-term, long-term, ongoing support from a healthcare professional, or from, you know, a coach or somebody that can just, you know, we can bounce things off of, or somebody who you may really need deeper support from. I think is a good thing. And I think building that positive self-image with yourself is, to me, I feel like that's an everyday thing. That's an every moment by moment, you know, minute by minute, hour by hour. People might be like, dang, girl, that's a lot of support. I think it is. You know, a lot of us need different levels of supports, you know, second by second, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. I feel like we all need that level of support. There's so many things happening. We're bombarded with so many images in the media and life and everything. And I just think it's important to have that positive level of support. And sometimes, yeah, it's good to have people you're familiar with, friends and family and colleagues, but having a professional support system, I think sometimes can give an extra level of boosting from a non-biased place. And what else was I thinking of? I was just thinking the other day that there's so many beautiful, talented singers, rappers, artists, influencers that I've looked at them, and I remember seeing them when they first start off, and seeing them at where they're at later on in their career or their path. And some of them, I'm like, okay, cool. You know, they've enhanced their looks or done certain procedures, and it's their body, it's their money. But then there's certain times when I've looked at it and I'm like, you know, it is a little concerning that, you know, people have had to drastically change themselves so much to the point where some people are even unrecognizable. And again, like I said in points earlier in the video, society and social media, people will comment, oh, comb your hair, oh, your nose is broad, this, that, and the third, your skin is this. And then when you alter it now, oh, love yourself, girl, you don't love you, and if it was me, and listen, I'm gonna go out and say it. I think majority of people, if it's them and they have the money, they're gonna change. In 2025, and onward, you're gonna change what it is you don't like about yourself. Point blank, period. I feel like a lot of people troll on the internet because they don't have the money to change that, and or they don't have the confidence, or whatever it may be. But I feel like if you have the money to, it's just like, say, for example, you live in a home and it needs upgrading. When you have the money to upgrade it, you're going to upgrade it. You're going to redecorate it. You're going to do whatever changes you feel that you need to make. You're not going to have this house looking like 1990 and you're in 2025. And I feel like it's similar when it comes to yourself. You're not going to have this whatever image of yourself that you know you can alter and polish up. You're not gonna just leave yourself like that, knowing that, you know what, I have the money, I have the resources to do it. Like, why wouldn't you? And I feel like a lot of people troll because either they're jealous, or they're they're portraying, they're putting out their own insecurities on people. Some people just love to just spew all that mess out on somebody else. But to be honest, I feel like we all can be a little bit kinder, a little bit nicer, and just know that, you know, a lot of us are struggling with similar issues, and body image, body dysmorphia, mental health, mental wellness, it is a really important and touchy topic. And be very careful and cautious when commenting or judging people. And we all judge, as much as we all say I don't judge, and we all judge. It's a natural part of being a human. I think you know, judging is a form of a certain level of security and a certain level of just awareness. And so we all got to just be careful and just be a little kinder, a little bit more open. And yeah, this video is going a little long. I might have to chop up some parts so that way I can get some parts of the message out that people will really, you know, connect with. But overall, I decided that I was going to make a video like this because I think it's a very important topic. I did do another video about this before, and you know, I thought, you know what, why not do you know, continuation of these videos, because I think it's very important, the topic of self-image and self-love and perception and things of that nature. So I hope that everyone can love on themselves a little bit more, myself included. And yeah, I hope that everyone can just be a little bit more gentler with themselves and with others. And with that, I will see y'all in my next video, y'all. Take care.